Aaron loved old stuff. He lived in Avinia, a town full of history. One day he was exploring his grandma's attic. It was dark and dusty up there. Cobwebs hung everywhere. Aaron coughed as he moved a pile of old blankets. Underneath he found a wooden chest. It was carved with strange symbols. Aaron's heart pounded. He knew this was important. He used all his strength to lift the heavy lid. Inside he found a roll of parchment. It was a map. The parchment felt old and delicate in Aaron's hands. This wasn't just any map though, it showed hidden paths and secret symbols. This was a map to something big, something eternal. Aaron had heard stories about the Eternal Library. Legends whispered about a place where all knowledge, past, present, and future was kept. Most people thought it was just a myth. But Aaron, he felt a connection. He studied the map closely. It showed a winding path leading away from Avinia. The path went through dark forests and over high mountains. This journey wouldn't be easy. Aaron knew he needed help.
I need to find Miss Alara.
He went to see Miss Alara, the town librarian. Miss Alara was old and wise. She knew a lot about Avinia's history. Aaron showed her the map. Her eyes widened.
The Eternal Library, she whispered. It's real.
Miss Alara, a wise and knowledgeable elder, helped Aaron understand the intricacies of the map. She had spent years studying ancient texts and maps, and her expertise was invaluable to Aaron. It wasn't a normal map. This map was ancient, filled with symbols and riddles that seemed to hold secrets of a forgotten era. It was full of riddles and hidden clues, each one more perplexing than the last. The map seemed to be a puzzle, designed to test the wit and determination of those who sought its secrets. They spent days deciphering the symbols, poring over every detail, and cross-referencing with old books and manuscripts. The process was painstaking, but they were determined to uncover the map's secrets. Finally, after much effort and many long nights, they knew where to go. The map revealed the location of a hidden library, said to contain knowledge lost to time. The journey was too dangerous for Miss Alara. She had seen many dangers in her time and knew that this quest would be perilous.
Be careful, Aaron. The path ahead is fraught with challenges and dangers that you cannot yet imagine. The path to knowledge is fraught with peril. Remember, not everyone you meet will have good intentions. Not everyone seeks knowledge for good. Some are driven by greed, others by a desire for power. You must be vigilant.
Aaron nodded, understanding the gravity of her words. He knew the risks, but the lure of the hidden library was too strong to resist. He packed some supplies, a flashlight, and a notebook. He made sure to include everything he might need for the journey, knowing that preparation was key. He was ready to face the unknown. The forest ahead was dense and foreboding, but Aaron felt a sense of purpose and determination. Before he left, Miss Alara gave him a small silver whistle. It was an old family heirloom said to have protective powers.
If you're ever in trouble, blow this. It might help. It has been in my family for generations and has always brought aid in times of need.
Aaron thanked her, feeling a deep sense of gratitude for her guidance and support. He slipped the whistle into his pocket, knowing it might be his lifeline in times of danger. With a final look at Miss Alara, he turned towards the path ahead. He was ready to begin his journey, filled with hope and determination to uncover the secrets of the hidden library. The map led Aaron out of Avinia. He followed the hidden paths. He walked through thick forests. He climbed steep mountains. The air grew colder. The journey was tiring, but Aaron pushed on. He had to see the library. One day he ran into a group of travelers. They looked rough and unfriendly. They asked him where he was going. Aaron didn't trust them. He knew they might be after the library too.
I'm just passing through.
He lied about his destination. They didn't believe him. One of them grabbed Aaron's arm. Aaron knew he was in trouble. He had to get away.
Aaron pulled free and ran. His heart pounded in his chest, each beat echoing the urgency of his escape. The forest was dense, the underbrush thick, but he didn't let it slow him down. He had to get away. He dodged through the trees, the men right behind him. Their shouts grew louder, their footsteps closer. Aaron's breath came in ragged gasps, but he pushed himself harder, knowing that slowing down meant capture. He could hear them getting closer. Panic surged through him, but he forced himself to stay focused. He glanced back just for a moment and saw the determination in their eyes. They wouldn't stop until they had him. He remembered the silver whistle. It was his last hope, a gift from his mentor, said to have magical properties. He had never used it before, but now seemed like the perfect time. He pulled it out and blew as hard as he could. The sound was piercing, cutting through the forest like a knife. It was louder than he expected, almost otherworldly. The shrill sound echoed through the forest. Birds took flight, startled by the noise, and the forest seemed to hold its breath. The sound waves reverberated, creating an eerie silence in their wake. The men stopped chasing him. They looked around, confused and disoriented. The whistle had done its job, but Aaron didn't understand why. He didn't have time to ponder it. Aaron didn't know why, but he didn't wait to find out. He seized the opportunity and ran, his legs burning with the effort. He had to put as much distance between himself and his pursuers as possible. He kept running until he was far away. The forest seemed endless, but he didn't stop. He couldn't afford to. Every step took him further from danger, but also deeper into the unknown. He hid in a small cave until nightfall. The cave was damp and cold, but it provided shelter. He sat in the darkness, listening for any signs of pursuit. The forest was quiet, but he remained on edge. He had escaped, but he was shaken. The adrenaline was wearing off, leaving him exhausted and sore. He took a moment to catch his breath, his mind racing with thoughts of what had just happened. He knew he couldn't be careless. The encounter had been a wake-up call. He needed to be more vigilant, more prepared. He couldn't let his guard down again. He had to be smarter, quicker. The forest was full of dangers, and he couldn't afford to be caught off guard. He gathered his belongings, readying himself for the journey ahead. The encounter made him realize how much he wanted to find the library. It wasn't just about the knowledge it held, but about proving to himself that he could do it. He studied the map, tracing the path with his finger. The danger made his resolve even stronger. He couldn't let fear control him. He had a mission, and he was determined to see it through. He set off with renewed determination. He continued his journey, more cautious now. Every sound, every movement caught his attention. He moved carefully, avoiding any potential traps or ambushes. He followed the map, always looking over his shoulder. He couldn't shake the feeling of being watched, but he pressed on. The map was his guide, and he trusted it. He knew the closer he got, the more dangerous it would become, but he was ready. He had come too far to turn back now. With each step, he grew more determined, more focused on his goal. After weeks of travel, Aaron reached a tall, misty mountain. This was it, the final hurdle. The map showed a hidden entrance on the mountainside. He found it, concealed behind a waterfall. Taking a deep breath, Aaron stepped through. He found himself in a long, dark tunnel. The air was cold and damp. He used his flashlight to see. He walked for what felt like hours. Just when he thought he might be lost forever, he saw a light. As he got closer, the light grew brighter. He emerged from the tunnel into a vast chamber. The sight took his breath away.
The chamber was filled with towering bookshelves. They stretched as far as the eye could see. In the center of the chamber stood a figure. He was old, with a long white beard. His eyes held ancient wisdom. This was the keeper of the Eternal Library.
You seek knowledge?
The keeper said, his voice echoing through the chamber. Aaron had so many questions, but before he could speak, the keeper held up a hand.
The path to knowledge is paved with riddles. Answer my riddle and the library shall be open to you. Fail, and you will be lost forever.
Aaron listened intently. The keeper's riddle was tricky, a puzzle about time and its illusions. Aaron thought hard. He paced back and forth, his mind racing. Finally, he had an answer.
I think I have it.
He spoke with confidence, his voice clear in the silent chamber. The keeper smiled.
Very good.
The keeper gestured towards the library.
Enter. The knowledge of ages awaits you.
Aaron stepped into the library, his heart pounding with excitement. He ran his hand along the spines of the countless books. Each one held a story, a piece of history. He could spend a lifetime here and still only scratch the surface of the knowledge contained within. Aaron spent days exploring the library. He read about ancient civilizations and forgotten languages. He discovered secrets of the universe that had been lost for centuries. But there was one book that drew his attention more than any other. It was tucked away in a dark corner, bound in silver and radiating a faint glow. This was the Book of Futures. Aaron hesitated. Was he ready to see what the future held? Curiosity got the better of him. He opened the book. The pages were filled with swirling symbols and strange diagrams. As Aaron touched the first page, the symbols seemed to come alive. Visions flashed before his eyes. He saw wars and natural disasters. He saw technological advancements that defied imagination. He saw his own future, a life filled with both joy and sorrow. The knowledge was overwhelming. It was tempting to get lost in the pages, to see everything the future held. But a part of him knew that some things were better left unknown. Aaron closed the book, his mind reeling. The ancient pages had revealed secrets long forgotten, truths that were both enlightening and terrifying. He had seen too much. The weight of centuries of knowledge pressed down on him, making it hard to breathe. He now understood the burden of knowledge, the responsibility that came with it. It was not just about knowing, it was about understanding the implications of that knowledge. He thought about sharing what he had seen, the visions of possible futures, the paths that humanity could take, both bright and dark. Should he warn people about the future, the potential disasters that could be averted, the advancements that could be achieved? But what if that changed things for the worse? What if his interference led to unintended consequences, altering the course of history in ways he couldn't foresee? The keeper appeared beside him, a figure shrouded in mystery and wisdom, the guardian of the library's secrets.
Knowledge is a double-edged sword. It can illuminate the path ahead or cast shadows that obscure the way. It can be used for good or for evil. The choice is yours. The keeper's words echoed in Aaron's mind, a reminder of the power he now held.
Aaron knew what he had to do. He couldn't let fear dictate his actions. He had to trust in his judgment and the wisdom he had gained. He left the Book of Futures in the library, a repository of knowledge for those who would come after him. He walked out of the eternal library and back into the world, forever changed by what he had seen and learned. The weight of knowledge was heavy, but it was a burden he was willing to bear. He carried the weight of knowledge with him, but also the wisdom to use it wisely. Every step he took was measured, every decision made with care. The future was not set in stone. It was a tapestry of possibilities, each thread woven by the choices of individuals. It was up to him and everyone else to shape it. Together they could forge a future that was bright and just, a testament to the power of knowledge and the strength of the human spirit.